Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So when I left you guys last, we had picked up another flip car, $900, '06 Pontiac G6. She's got 182,000 miles and a little damage here and there, as you can see, but we covered that on the last video. If you guys missed it, go check out part one. You'll see where we went to the salvage yard. We've acquired all of our replacement parts that we need. Bumpers, doors, you name it. Brand new hood. The whole 9 yards. We are good to go. I've got some front end suspension pieces that need to go in. For one, tie rod ends. We got them. We're going to put some sway bar end links and some sway bar bushings in it, and that should hopefully quiet down the front end. She's got a lot of rattling going on underneath there, and I think this will take care of it, but we will see. You guys remember me showing you this issue in part one, right? That's pretty bad. Those tie rod ends ought to fix that right up. I don't think I showed y'all in part one just how bad this rotor is. But yeah, look at that. I mean, it's got some pretty good sized grooves going in it. That's why I picked up the other one from the salvage yard. I've got a really nice one, if you missed it, from the salvage yard with pads. She's going to be in good shape. We'll swap that out while we're in there. I thought maybe we'd start out with a little bit of WD-40. So now we want to get a little WD-40 up here as well. Hopefully all this stuff's going to come off here fairly easy. There we go. That broke loose pretty easy. Well, let's see if we can crack it loose. That wasn't too bad. I hear a lot of people commenting about how bad these cars are rusted in their areas. A lot of them from like Canada, Michigan, things like that. And I feel very fortunate because a lot of you guys leave comments about, wow, I can't believe how easy those cars come apart. You guys are so lucky. And yeah, you're right. We are very lucky. I mean, you see how easy this is. This is so simple. If we was working on a car from up north, man, we'd be out here trying to chisel this thing apart. Now, as wore out as this is, I mean, it should come right apart with a simple little whack with a hammer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's wore slap out. So it shouldn't fight us too hard. There we go. So I had to put the camera down. This took two hands to break this loose, not gonna lie. But it's broken loose, and this is how I did it. I just got my vice grips in here positioned just right. I suppose you could use a wrench. I'm not 100% sure what size that is, but if you wanted to do it that way, you could. I just grabbed a crescent wrench, grabbed a hold of it right here on this flat spot. You see this here? Grabbed it with a wrench and heaved hold on it. I had to give it the beans, y'all, but it finally did snap loose. And look, we can just twist that right off of there. And the next one, like I said a minute ago, we'll screw it right up to that, tighten them together, and we will be done with this side, and we'll just repeat the same thing on the other side. And here's the new part going in. Don't forget the WD. Makes life a little easier. Very easy, y'all. See, there's no sense in paying a bunch of money to have this stuff done. You could do it yourself pretty easy. Let's get the vice grips out of here. Don't need those anymore. Put this back where it goes. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but we'll get it in there. There we go. I think that got shaky, didn't it? Tighten her down, like I said. Go ahead and tighten this back together. So it kind of locks everything in place, and then tighten this up down here. Yeah, I think we got our money's worth out of that one. What do you think? That is wore completely out. Figured we'd go ahead and replace this rotor while we're at it. Put our new one on there. Our new used one. Whatever. There we go. I want to top the fluid off on the transmission. I think it was just a little bit low. We went through the whole checking process. There we go. I do believe that'll do it. I got an extra one just in case. But we'll go through that whole procedure after we get this all in there and make sure that it's full. It's kind of strange that they don't put dipsticks in these, but that's just the way it is. We'll get some of this in there. I love this stuff. I've seen transmissions that actually were completely going out and be able to drive it around for another year or two just because you put this stuff in there. So when you get that stuff, just kind of squeeze it in there because it is thick. And this is how I have to do these. I got a funnel inside of a funnel, but that gets it way down in there. That's where the spout is, way off down inside of there, and it'll have this little cap here, kind of a vented cap. You'll have to take that off, put your dipsticks in there, or I keep calling it a dipstick. Your funnel, get your funnel in there. I wish it had a dipstick. That would be great. That would save me from having to do all this weird stuff of getting underneath there and pulling the plug and all of that. It's nonsense. And by the way, this is unsponsored content. Just something I use. I've been using it for years. I use it in a lot of my flip cars, whether it needs it or not. I just think it's good stuff, and I don't mind telling you guys when I'm using something that works for me, you know? I mean, I don't need somebody to pay me. Besides, I'm sure most of you guys know this is good stuff. They've got injector cleaner and all kinds. They got stuff you could pour into the crankcase. It's all good stuff, man. It just kind of helps these old high mileage cars, you know, get by a little longer. That's all. My wife gets me this stuff for free. She is one of those extreme couponers. Y'all ever heard of them? She gets me this stuff. They pay her to buy it. It's so strange, but just kind of a ceramic coated oil treatment is all it is. And they say you can add this between oil changes or during oil changes. So obviously this is going in between an oil change, but just something else to kind of help it along, I think. The engine runs perfectly. It doesn't make a single noise, no rattles. No ticking, smoking, nothing at all. I mean, the motor runs perfectly. I couldn't ask for anything better. But I want to keep it that way for the next guy. So I want to put this in there. You guys leave a comment if you've ever tried this stuff. I've never used this. This is the first time, and I've got a bunch of it sitting around. So I thought, hey, maybe I'll start putting this into these flip cars, see if it gets us anywhere. Of course, changing the fluids, all those kind of things definitely help them. And if people would do that more often on these cars, they'll run way into the 200,000s easy. This one's getting close. This one's at 184, I think I said. That oil's still nice. Looks like honey. So I don't think it needs a change. So we're going to spend money. That money's elsewhere in another part of the car. That's kind of the way we do these flips. We only put money in where we need to, where the car needs it the most. And I don't think it needs a full oil change. I think it'll be fine, especially with that additive we added in there. I think that'll help it. So I drove the G6 up to the local tire shop today, and I was noticing that when I went to leave, it would not shift out of park. Apparently it's a common issue for these to get the button gets stuck. Yeah, right there. The safety lever here doesn't want to engage, and it just gets stuck. It won't shift out. Apparently this is a common thing with the G6s. It happens a lot on them. So basically, to get started, you'll just pop that little ring down with a screwdriver, and on the other side of it will be, or actually underneath it will be, a Phillips screwdriver around on this back side. But basically you're just going to unscrew that Phillips screw. Once you got the screw out, you just pop that thing right off there. It's really easy. Take that with it. You would think that this would snap off, but it doesn't. Instead, basically what happens is we got to take the center console out around it, and there's just 4 bolts that hold it in. So yeah, down here on the side of the console, you'll just have these little covers that you'll want to pop off, exposing a little 10mm bolt. Pop that out just like so. There'll be one right on the other side, and then there'll be one back here in between the seats as well. Yeah, so this one's a little trickier. It's tucked in between the seat down here, so it's a little difficult to get to, but still doable. Pop the cover off. We'll have to dig that out here in just a second. Not a big deal. And if you have a shorter, I've got, we noticed we used a long deep socket on the front. It'll probably be easier to get a shorter one for the back here. So yeah, you can see here we switched it up to a shorter socket. I think that'll make it a little easier to get in there. But yeah, if you wanted to pull a couple bolts out and get the seats out of the way, it would definitely make that a little easier. But it's still doable with the seats in, so not to worry. So repeated the same process on the other side. Got the bolt out there, got the one out from in between the seat in there. And I forgot about these side covers. You need to pop these off as well. Not hard, that just comes right off. Do the same thing on the other side, and we should be able to start, you know, kind of lift that up out of there, I think. So now if I'm not mistaken, I think we can, yeah, there we go. We can lift this up out of there, I do believe. There's going to be some wires at the front we'll need to disconnect, so I just wanted to come back here and make sure we were loose, and I do believe we are now. What do you think? I think having this emergency brake up will kind of help us slide this up around it. Right here is what I'm talking about. These two here, they've got plug-ins on the back side. That I do know for a fact, so we want to be careful. We don't want to yank any plugs out or anything. I think now that I've got it up to this point, if I were to let my emergency brake down, maybe then I could kind of slide this out a little bit. I do see my plugs in here now, so I'm going to need to get those off. See that brown and the white and with the two little blue plugs in there? That's the two I got to get out, and then this thing should be free. I should be able to get it out of here. Oh, there's actually 3 plugs in here. Okay. Let's get all these out. There's 2. Let's see if we can get this third one out. This is for the airbag light. This is going to be a little bit of a pain, I guess. Let's see. How does that come out of there? There we go, just like that. All right, I think that can go off over there now. Actually, all right, we can get this thing out of the way now. All right, we can get this thing out of the way now. We'll set it off over here. Awesome, that wasn't too bad. So what do you guys think? Y'all think that's the issue? Because if you unplug it, it works fine. But then as soon as you plug it back in, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. So I don't really understand if it's just that's coincidental and maybe we got a just kind of an adjustment issue. I see some things in here like this. You guys see this thing here, how it's got an adjustment to it. You can actually twist this. It's got threads on it. Seen another thing on the other side that was the same way. So I just don't know. You see here how it works? When you pull this lever, it moves that little thing up and down. You see there? All right. So when I unplug this, it works all the time. I never have an issue with it. The only problem is that you'll be able to switch this thing out of park anytime you want without even putting your foot on the brake. That is very dangerous, and there's no way I'm sending it out of here like that. So I could easily unplug that, put everything back together, and send it on its way, and then there'll probably be some horrible accident happen because of it. Kids get in here, they play around while the car's running. The last thing that you want is for this to be able to just shift anytime you want, no matter what. Not cool. We ain't doing that. So I need to know, man. I don't see a lot of it on the internet about this. I'm kind of stumped. I think I might just get one, throw it in there, see what happens. I hate just throwing parts at stuff. Hell, who knows? That could be a $50 part for all I know. I could snag one at the salvage yard, but the problem with that is, with this being a common issue, if that is the problem, then what are the odds that I'm getting a good one, right? So I don't know. Y'all tell me. Should I adjust some of this stuff? I mean, would that make the difference? I really don't know. I noticed there was another adjustment even right here where you could kind of thread this out to maybe pick up some of the slack. I don't know. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just kind of wore. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't see any place for a bushing. They're talking about you can get in there and replace a bushing, this and that, but I don't see anything in here bushing related. I do know that out under the hood where all this hooks to the transmission itself, there's some places for adjustments, but I don't think that has anything to do with this button. You see what I'm saying? We got a light situation going on here for whatever reason. When I got this, none of the lights on the back was working except for this. It had a brake light that was actually stuck on, and when I went to look at the bulb, it was like something was messed up. It was kind of melted on the end. But that was all we had. No, we didn't have any tag lights or anything. I have managed to get all the lights working, tag light included. The only problem is I still don't have any brake lights. I do believe I've got it narrowed down to the brake light switch itself, which I've got at AutoZone. This little guy here, $32. Kind of ridiculous, but whatever. If it's going to fix our problem, it's going to fix the problem. Very simple to put in. It goes under the dash, and when you put your foot on the brake, it moves this switch, and that's what tells the brake lights to go on and off, right? So anyway, when this goes out, typical problem can be your cruise control won't stay on, stuff like that. So that's another problem that we're having. The cruise control, you try to turn it on and it goes right back off, and that's usually indicative of a bad brake light switch. I'm going to show you guys just how easy that is to fix. I mean, it's simple. It literally has one little plug and one little screw that holds it in, so very easy to do, and it's located just up under the dash there. Just got a 7mm. Couple of these guys right here holding it up. I do believe that's all that's holding this up. We're going to kind of pop this down now. Shouldn't be anything else holding us. There we go. A couple of clips. That's what we got. Got one right there. Looks like one right here. It's got a little cable. I believe it's our hood latch cable. It's got a little clip holding it to this cover. You'll have to pop that loose. And there we go. It'll come out of there. Pretty easy, not too bad. So once you're underneath here, you will find a 7mm bolt. I hope you guys can see this. This is going to be rather difficult to get a good shot, especially when your light goes out. What the hell? All right, we'll try this again. We got 2 lights this time. We ought to be able to be good to go after that, right? All right, so up in there, you will see your 7mm screw right there. That's got to come out, and that's the only one. That, and just unplug it after that. You have to kind of get your ratchet, kind of fish it around everything. All right, there we go. There's the screw. Got the screw out there. Let's get the switch out. And there's our switch. It's got just a little push. You just push the little button right there. That'll slip right off. Can you see the button? I hope you can. There's just a little button right there on the clip. Push that and that comes right off. We got our new one right here. This is so hard to do one-handed, but look, it can be done. There we are. We're plugged in. Good to go. Now let's slip it back on there. Okay, so I'm trying so hard to get a good shot of this, but basically, let me get this out of the way maybe. There is this little lever here. Okay, now when you push your foot on the brake, that moves, and that's what this slides into. This little fork slides over that, and that's the main thing. You have to get that part back in there. And it's got a little dowel sticking out so you can line everything up. But that is the most important part, is making sure that you get that over that little thing sticking out there. That little, it's like a little bar. And you'll have to mess with it a little bit. There we go. I think we're over it now. So now we got to get this lined up and get our bolt back in it. So I did manage to get that in there, and I am not going to lie to y'all. That is a bit of a bear, and you have to stand on your head to do it, and there's no getting any kind of good camera shots or any of that. I promise you. I tried. It is just too tight of a space up in here. I mean, you could barely get your hand in here to work, much less try to get a camera in here as well. But basically, you get that all lined up, you get your dowel lined up, you get that fork lined up with that rod sticking out, and you are good to go. Of course, make sure you plug it in. But in order to get that in, this is basically the position you're going to be in, I promise you. Upside down, standing on your head. Which is always fun when the floorboard is full of dirt. Good Lord. But we have brake lights now. That's all that matters. Look at that. Oh, yeah. The best part is I'll have cruise control now. That's great. I mean, brake lights, that's all well and good, but that cruise control is a must-have. So yeah, man, lots of stuff going on. I don't video all of it because in my opinion, it's friggin' boring. It just is. And I know y'all get on to me all the time. You need to make more videos. And I understand what you're saying, but if it's just boring, everyday stuff, chances are I'm just not going to. So hey, we're going to keep plugging away on these projects. We'll keep bringing you guys some videos, updating you on everything going on out here. And of course, we're going to continue on with our flip car project. And the next video of this we'll be dialing it in, man, dolling it up, making her look good, giving her the weird beard treatment, and sending her on down the line, see if we can make a few bucks, because that's what we do. The used car business has become very interesting lately, and that's awesome considering that now I'm in it. You know, it's funny, anytime I join something, I don't care what it is. Even back when I got into the paint and body business, it was like I caught the tail end of it. You know what I mean? It's like all you hear about is all the old timers talk about how great it used to be, and it's like, oh, you mean before I got here? And the used car business has proved to be the same exact way. I got into this business and it was almost like taking candy from a baby. You just show up to the auction, about $1,500. You're going to bring a car home. You're going to spend a few $100 on it, little elbow grease, and chances are you're going to put anywhere between $1,200 to $2,000 profit into your pocket in a matter of a few days tops. It's just not like that anymore. The auctions have all but gone to shit on us. I mean, the dealers aren't sending anything out there but all their problem child. So I have resulted to basically pulling cars out of people's front yards. Just anything to find a cheap car, you know, and because they almost don't exist unless they have tons of issues. But with you guys tagging along this whole YouTube element, it kind of works out because it's all content, right? I mean, you get an old junky car and you make it nice. That's damn sure some good content for y'all, and I'm glad you guys are watching. I do appreciate it. So, having said all of that, I am going to get on out of here. I got to get cleaned up, head into the city as usual, always chasing parts or something. So anyway, please like, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. The channel's growing. Leave a thumbs up, man. That's good for the algorithm. You guys are unbelievable in the old comments section. I can't believe the number of comments I get and the amount of good comments. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, every once in a while we get a numbnuts in there that wants to talk about a little smack or whatever, but we just send them packing. But for like 99% of it is positive, and I do appreciate it. So anyway, hit me up on the old Instagram, link in the description as always, and also hit me up on Facebook, Weird Beard on Facebook. I will answer your friend request, I promise. So until next time, I will see you guys later.